I got target 1. All right, I got target 2. Okay. Oh, I forgot something. Got whatever I forgot and I need it. Okay. All right. Got my sight picture, elevation. Oh crap. I need this over here. Okay. All right, now I got it. Got my sight picture, dope, windage, shoot. Dope. Okay. Found the target. Found the target range. Target. Need something. Grab my something. Ready. Oh, I need a more stable position. Got my tripod. Ready to shoot. Go.
Hey, welcome to the Crossfire conversation with Chris and Frank. So, what'd you just do?
I shot an NRL hunter up in Laramie, Wyoming.
You've shot a couple matches lately. We shot Pawnee Grasslands not too long ago. You've been shooting the hunter match. So the two different demos you just did, you were RO. Go to your local matches in RO. You might learn something. You were in RO and you observed people. You saw somebody engage in a stage one way, and then you saw about 100 other people engage in different ways. So,
yeah, the cool thing about being an RO at a hunter match is you get to shoot the whole match Friday, and then watch 150 people shoot the match in a blind stage format. So everybody's solving a unique problem to themselves each time they come up. And what might seem like an obvious solution to you might not seem like an obvious solution to someone else. But over time, you start to see similarities and patterns. And so what I tried to do is replicate two patterns that I saw. One was more successful than the other, and it didn't have anything to do with their ability to hit the target. It had the ability, it had an influence on whether they timed out. And if you ask the top shooters about hunter matches, they usually don't talk about the marksmanship, although the marksmanship has something to do with it. They usually talk about the stress that's induced by an imposing time limit and then all of the stuff that you have to do inside that time limit.
Find it, range it, engage it. Find it, range it, engage it, and deploy your gear on the clock.
Right.
You got to do all those things together, complementing each other. So you have to have a process of extracting your gear, deploying it, finding the targets, managing your data, and then getting the rifle stabilized and on target in X amount of time.
Yeah, I think in the context of a competition shooter, because I had gone from the NRL finale, the grand slam finale for the NRL precision match, to the hunter match. So that was a 2-week kind of shift from one extreme to the other. I think in competition, we forget the importance of gear management, and what we're playing in the field is something that is more serious and does have an organizational and reactive context. And I think that you can see the importance of that if we look outside of the competition. And for example, as a Marine, how important was knowing what was in one pocket and being able to access
Organizing your gear, right? I mean, when we wrote our mission plans, we said what's going in the right pocket, what's going in the left pocket, what's going to be here. So if you went down or something happened and you had to access my gear, you knew where it was because it's in the same place that's your gear. And I mean, information is important. So yeah, absolutely. How we managed ourselves, because we're operating at night a lot. We're not turning lights on. We're not doing things. So if I'm moving through at night and I got to get in my pack, I have to know right where it is because I'm not turning anything on to dig in there and get it. So it's important to know, hey, this is going to be in this pocket. This is going to be in this pocket. This is in the main compartment. This is in an auxiliary compartment, and where those things are. And then practice, extracting that equipment and deploying it when you're not looking at it really. And that's the same thing with the hunter. It should be second nature, right? In these comps, you should be going through A, B, C, D, and not going A, Z, X, Y, Z, where is it? I need it. It's rifle, rear back, R, Z, S. No, you want to be able to go, I need this, this, and this to execute that. And these three things need to be accessible. So that's absolutely what we're looking at. Mm-hmm. And then placement, because it did make a big difference where you placed your equipment, whether you had to move away from your firing position or whether you had access at your location. Mm-hmm. So that's that arm's reach. That's sort of when we look at out west, we shoot off the pins. We always have to keep that pin within arm's reach. So that kind of gets us a little bit more engaged with not moving away from the pin. And I think that does help us in a sort of a training mindset without even realizing it, because we don't float too far away from that location. Mm-hmm. And so it speeds us up. Yeah.
I think it really highlights and points in the direction of some group's shortcoming in gear familiarization, organization, and the process that leads up to shooting and leaving. And you can learn from other fields that prioritize that, because seconds really do matter. And rifling around or even just creating a gypsy camp in order to find something, there's a lot of cons to that, because now you've got to pack it all up and leave potentially quickly. Being able to access, utilize, and do what you mean to do efficiently and quickly is highlighted by the hunter matches, and that's unique in a competitive format.
And I think the hunter matches are great because you're moving to a location, the stage is blind, you're deploying your gear on the clock, so it's not like you're going up to a stage with everything in your hand and then just dropping it down and then executing it. I mean, you and I have talked about this before in the past. When you're moving through a field condition like that, at a minimum, it should be one hand free. Mm-hmm. To be able to catch yourself, do anything that you have to do. So if you find your hands are full and you're walking up, then maybe you should look at gear management a little bit more. It is a more practical application, execution of doing the hunter match when everything is set up as you would carry it and then deployed in the moment, versus pre-staging something, walking up, dropping it down, and then just using it, and then scooping it all up and walking away and putting it, there's a difference in mindset. So when you're practicing, make sure you practice from fully deployed or, put together to fully deployed.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And I think these are skill sets that do carry over, but they carry over in the direction from this style into more precision styles, but it doesn't go the other way because you're not practicing it. And that's where you're really seeing a big gap in skill, mainly because they haven't put in the time to develop those skills. But once you have them, they work.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you practice like you're going to operate in those situations. And remember, no one's half the battle.